I think we're live. Hi. Welcome to Witchy Wednesdays. I'm JC Moon Spirit, and this is my lovely assistant, Mixture Whispers, aka my wonderful hubby wife. It looks like the phones are registering that we are live everywhere now, which is good. Tonight we are going to be reading for you a waxing moon spread inspired by numanists.com. It is one that our wonderful researcher Sings with Owls has found for us. And we are going to be reading Witch Glyphs and Viking Futhark runes. So if you would like to have a free one-tile reading, just message in your request for which language you would like us to read from on any of the platforms and any of the chats that we're live on right now. And for those of you in the listening audience, this is basically something to get us through to this moon phase and kind of help us navigate toward the full moon. So
we got a couple cool cards.
To read a moment, it says, to flow is to survive, to stay rigid is to break. After we've worked on our goals, this phase is a perfect time to take a more detailed look at our approach and to assess alternative pathways. So Mixture Whispers, where do you think we should pull from?
That one was sparkling earlier, so
okay.
I'm thinking that one.
Okay, so we're going to start with our Viking Futhark runes. Pull the first rune, Mixture Whispers.
Oh, I didn't realize there was leather on the bottom.
Unsettling, isn't it?
It was just a little bit. I was like, is something wrong with me? No, they're fine.
Nothing's wrong with you. It's good. It's a very loud tool, this bowl. So I like to buffer it a bit. What have we got going on? Okay. So our first rune, the problem. We have pulled that. Our next rune, our expectation.
Oh, it was much faster.
Sometimes they are. Yeah. Very cool.
Interesting.
Okay. Number 3, the reality.
Which do you like better? The one that's in the metal bowl or the one that's in the ceramic bowl?
I like them both, but I like them for different reasons. I like the runes in the ceramic bowl because they have a nice sound to them. I like the ones in the silver bowl because they're, I think, a little bit easier to grab at times.
Well, I do.
Like if I had to, I could do a reading in the bowl that's that big. Okay, so to make things really easy on ourselves. All right, so our first rune.
Oh, sorry.
So our first rune, the problem, is Hagalaz. My lovely assistant, Mixture Whispers, is shuffling our helpful little rune cards that we made to help us learn the tiles a little bit more.
Hagas is hail, sleet, disruption, sudden change, paying attention, hailstorms, loss, destruction, change, and the wrath of nature. Sounds like what's happening outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I think that as the world does turn, we do have to change things. And I think that sometimes we don't necessarily pay as much attention as we could to maybe a deadline or maybe even just the cycle and where we're at in the cycle. Some of us who are more of the fence post sitting type may just kind of ignore the omens that they were taught growing up in their stories and things like that. And so when we have large amounts of upheaval, we're called to adapt. So the problem we're having isn't necessarily change, it's the disruption of our illusion of control there and our need to adapt to the situation.
It's funny, our next one is our expectation.
So our expectation is the Cross of Wotan. And from what I have studied on this, it's kind of a crossroads style rune, but it's also in some cultures a protection. So I like to look at this like the medicine wheel or a medicine shield. What wisdoms you earn on your path, you carry with you, and they become a part of your medicine shield in indigenous teachings. Hi, JK. And what serves you, you keep, basically. And what you need to leave behind, you do. And that's where the Cross of Wotan, I think, comes into play because it protects you with the wisdom of the lessons you've walked through already. But using that wisdom helps you to navigate around the stuff that you need to adapt away from.
Okay.
It's a really interesting room. course, Wotan was an interesting god.
3. The reality.
Mhm.
We have Anzus, the god Odin. Signals, messenger rune, inspiration, blessings, communication, insight, wisdom, true vision. Wow. Sources of divine utterances. Letter A. So definitely a messenger thing. Reality, messages.
I think messages of the new cycle, definitely. And blessings. I like the expression count your blessings because life is a blessing, breath is a blessing, water is a blessing, clothes on your back is a blessing, a roof over your head is a blessing. These are all blessings. A cup to drink your coffee from can be a blessing. So counting your blessings while you're going through times of upheaval, guys. Having more stuff than you thought you had is a weird blessing too.
Oh, it was kind of cool. I was wrapping away some stuff for storage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, let me put this away with the intention of coming back to it to appreciate it more.
Right.
Keep it safe and let me come back and appreciate it to its fullest.
Right. And things that are in good condition that you no longer have a use for or a need of in your space, you can do a giveaway ceremony for, which helps benefit your community. And if you do it properly without expectations of returns, you do kind of get a little nudge, you know. You might get something you need. Not necessarily the output you need to have on it when you actually do the act, but the reality of it is you receive what you give out to the universe.
So which one is this?
So we're looking at death.
Ah.
Guidance is death. You know what? Go on and do it.
Just die.
Just a little bit. We're not telling anybody to actually die.
Yeah,
nobody needs to go out and take anything drastic into their nothing. That's not what we're talking about.
We're talking metaphysical death rebirth.
I'm talking shaman's death. I'm
go.
talking the shaman's death. I'm talking let the shit go. Pardon my French, but it's just the reality of what is. If it doesn't make you feel better, if it doesn't provide something for you that you absolutely 100% have to have, if it's not correct for your path with your higher source, you need to let it go because it's holding you back from reaching your potentials. If you want to make more money, if you want to be more kind, if you want to have a better relationship or find a romantic relationship that's actually healthy and balanced, or you just want to be more healthy and balanced, you can't do that if you carry all of the baggage around with you. You're just protecting yourself from the thing in your back pocket at that point. You just need to take it out of your pocket and give it to somebody else. Give it away. Get rid of it. You don't have to carry it with you into the next cycle. That's the kind of death we're talking about. Make a new decision. Make a decision that today JC would make instead of yesterday JC. You know? For an example.
Okay.
Kind of one of those things where you're just like, I don't have to be better than anybody else. I just have to be better than who I was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, keep on going.
It helps. It helps. So, do we have any requests for one tile readings tonight? I see that we have JC. She's for JC. JK.
You're JC.
I'm JC.
Hi,
Everybody's JC. We're all connected. All right. Caught you on time. Yay. I'm so glad you caught us this week. Would you like a rune?
Title. Yeah. Catch things on fire.
Catch things on fire. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to call everybody JC tonight. How do you know you progress to the next step on your path, guys?
You're JC.
Everybody's JC. We're all connected.
Do you have a preference on witch or Viking?
Just gonna get really close to the camera so I can read into your souls. Hi guys. If you're listening to the audio recording of this, we're being silly deliberately because people just seem to think that we're just some kind of crazy, scary witch cult, and that's just not who we are. We really just want to make the world a better place to live in, and so we've decided we're going to be our normal, goofy, sacred clown selves for you guys.
Picked it up without even looking.
Good job.
You're so Viking.
I know.
Whoa!
Look at you go.
We might need.
Nope, I can read it. Pertho.
All the way down there.
Yay!
Jump
You got
in.
the vagina rune.
Secret.
I'm gonna call it the vagina rune.
That's what it is, right? Secrets?
Yes.
amongst other things.
Many things. Many wonderful
many
things.
We have Pertho, or Perth, the unknown, fate, destiny, pawn, magic, initiation, mystery, divine feminine, vagina, cup, or secret matters. And a little P. Secret matters.
It sounds to me like JK might need to experience a new kind of ceremony, perhaps, or dip her toe back into an old one, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, the Wheel of the Year is a turn, and we're getting ready to go into August, which means that we're getting ready to come right up against another festival, or a Sabbat, as we call them. These are our sacred pagan celebrations, and the first harvest is coming up soon. So I think it might be time to sow a seed, perhaps, or to prepare yourself to accept one.
Good time to work with your cup on your altar.
Exactly. Fun fact, if you leave water sitting on your altar inside of a cup and you never move the water, you've created stagnation on your altar. Fun fact. You can use the water for scrying, you can use it for divination, you can use it for whatever you want to, but you're just not supposed to leave it in one spot.
Rune for tomorrow. See if anybody else pops up.
A rune for tomorrow is the waning gibbous. So when we see a waning moon phase, we know that we're already going to be letting something go or stepping out of a cycle. When we see a gibbous, it's kind of like, to me, it's like a cup. And when you have the waxing gibbous, I always think of it as filling the cup. When you have a waning gibbous, I think of it as turning the cup over, because that drink is nasty. That's gross. That sour wine, I don't want to take that into my body. I'm going to pour this out. I'm not accepting this anymore because it's not good for me. That's what a waning gibbous sounds like to me. I also like to think, how can I use what I prayed for? Because you sow a seed at the new moon to receive it at the full moon, right? So as we get closer to the full moon, we are supposed to grow into the new cycle of who we are and then take what we learn into the next cycle. So how can I learn what I manifested? How do I learn what I prayed for? That's the Perth rune I read for JK. It's on the floor. For those of you who are watching us and I'm doing silly things, I'm pointing at the rune on the floor. I'm not smiting a random sprite somewhere. We don't let sprites in the house.
Too destructive.
They're warded out because we're that dedicated. Cool. JK said, thanks, my waters ripple often. That's very good. I like that. That's very cool. My waters ripple often. And of course, everybody practices their own way. There is no one true way to practice the craft, as long as it honors the Earth Mother and doesn't cause harm to a bunch of people. So you're pretty much in the clear for most of the paths. Does anybody else have a free one-tile rune reading request out to the universe or to us more specifically tonight?
Another apple on there.
I'll take one. Okay, Sings with Owls requested a rune, and Sings, you have received the last quarter. So last quarter to me is like a door closing. It's not a bad thing because you've lived in the space. So it's kind of like when you are at a job and you pull your energy out, or you kind of give that person the blessing before you leave that space or whatever. It's kind of like that. It's just, I think it's kind of an emotional time. And so I think of this sometimes as like steam. I can control the temperature to how much steam I can handle to a certain degree. So it's like I don't have the energy to pack up my bathroom right now, but I could pack up a couple boxes of books, you know? Need to process. I need to find a way to do something to move myself along that's not going to take me out of the game. It's kind of where I'm feeling the flow there. I still think it's like a door closing. So it's like, okay, we're coming up on the end of this. That means the next thing is coming. So just accept that the next thing is coming. I don't feel like you walk around in dark places much for very long. So it's like, okay, this door's closing. The next one's already open. It's just out there somewhere. We gotta pull this one closed, lock the door, and then go on down.
Okay.
All right. Do we have anyone else? Doesn't look like we have anyone else.
Quiet night.
That's okay.
I have trod through all of the rooms looking to see if anybody was there.
Okay. Did you have anything you wanted to add to any reading? No.
It was a very nice read.
Cool.
We've got tomorrow also to look forward to.
Yes, we do. So, as my lovely assistant pointed out, hold on a second.
Let's get ready.
You can tune in for Tarot Talk Thursday tomorrow with me, JC Moon Spirit, and whichever one of my wonderful friends would like to join me, be that Sings with Owls, who's our wonderful co-host most of the time, Mixer Whispers, who was a great help for us tonight, or even our producer, Spirit Snoring, who may want to jump on and pull us some wacky card readings. It's very possible. We've done it before. It gets a lot of attention because it's something different.
Hey,
But it's
everybody
always
keeps saying
different.
My card readings are dangerous, not wacky.
I would not tell anybody that your card readings are dangerous. I believe that a card reading is only as dangerous as the person who puts fear into it in the first place. People have very wild imaginations. If you look at the death card and you think, I'm going to die, you intended that on yourself. All I said was your life was going to change. I didn't say your life was going to stop. If you're scared of a reading, you need to talk to the reader about your fears so they can walk you out of them, which Spirit Soaring is very adept at doing.
That card is akin to taking the comfortable old shoes out to the curb and leaving them there for the
Right. I kind of like the tower card a little bit more because it's like somebody tried to drag the comfortable old shoes through the wall and the whole thing came down.
Yeah, well.
Makes more of a fun story. All right, guys, tune in tomorrow. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful rest of your night.